We were pretty famous back in high school. Trust us.
Had a whole future ahead of us, but now we suck.
All that potential now is flowing in the aqueducts.
Through the sands of time, many did forget.
But now our time has come to resurrect. But a podcast?
Sad I know, but can you blame us?
We are desperate to be much more than high school famous.
You were saying?
As I was saying, it always bugs me when I hear the song "Since I've Been Loving You" by Led Zeppelin, because I swear one of the drummer's pedals, either for the bass drum or like maybe the little what's the other like hi-hat.
Yeah,
I hear a squeak.
Oh,
there's
really?
a squeak in the pedal. I'm like, or something. I'm like, it's at the beginning when it's really just the drum holding a steady little beat, and then the guitar is very coming in and out, like very lightly. I can hear it so prominently every time, and I'm like, why? Even listening back to recording this a few times, how did they not go? Let's throw some WD-40 on that sucker or something.
Yeah, and maybe they just didn't notice it at all, and then maybe if they noticed it in the editing process, then they're like, back then editing, it's a lot harder to pull out little imperfections in the audio at that point. I mean, if it's now, have you listened to a remastered version of it? Is it still in there?
It's always there. It's always there.
I mean, maybe at that point it's there now for nostalgia reasons. They're like, we can't change this. Maybe it was, maybe that was by design. Maybe they wanted that squeak to be in there.
It could be, but I mean, I get the whole argument, like, oh, this, you can tell it's played by real people, and it's, that's just a consequence of what you get there. You'll get nuanced notes and things that aren't perfect because it's capturing real people playing real instruments.
Yeah, I mean, on the other side of that argument, I could make a digital song sound like it has imperfections in it.
You could, but
be like, oh, this was clearly real people playing real instruments. Listen to those imperfections.
Listen to every one of them. I put in 24.
24 imperfections. It is a 1 minute and 30-second song, and there are 24 imperfections throughout those 90 seconds.
Yeah, so
do that.
That's a short song. That's a short song.
They're shorter. I've heard shorter songs.
I'm sure. I'm just saying on average, that's a short song.
Oh yeah.
We're looking standard song 3 to 4 minutes, right? Like it's your typical radio type of song.
I'm curious as to what over time is the average. What is the average song length of all songs ever written?
I mean, I think the groups that get adventurous and do like really crazily long tracks, I don't think that there are enough of them to really.
Oh yeah, they're outliers for sure.
Yeah, but there's not enough of them to really make a big impact on the overall average of song length or duration. So I bet I
mean, similar with really short songs, there's probably not a ton of like super short ones that are gonna drift it back that direction either.
So I would say I'm guessing somewhere in the 3 to 4.
I'm guessing 5 or 6. Yeah, maybe 5 or 6 might be the average. Dude, there's a lot of songs that are within the double digits.
Yeah, but are we talking all songs in history or just radio singles?
All songs.
Okay, well then there's a different number there. I'm thinking radio singles 3 to 4.
Radio singles are definitely 3 to 4 because radio song. I mean, there's radio edits of songs. You can take an 8-minute song, they'll dwindle it down to a 4-minute song.
Yeah, which I
cut out a whole
frustrated
section.
I remember hearing "Killing in the Name" by Rage Against the Machine on CD for the first time. I had only heard it on the radio for years.
Oh, they cut that whole end section, don't they?
Oh yeah.
I'm
like, what is this? It was such a huge, awesome surprise. I'm like, I had no idea.
Yeah, it's kind of like it kind of goes against the message of the song at that point. I mean, fuck you, I won't do what you tell me, and they just cut that out. It's like, well, you're gonna have a radio edit of this. You're gonna do what I tell you if you want your song on the radio. It's basically what it's saying.
Oh, I see where you went. Yeah,
I
wasn't following you completely.
Yeah.
It wasn't jumping out to me like this is what he
It wasn't
means.
clear. I wasn't, you know, par for course. I wasn't explaining myself very clearly.
What do you mean?
I'm very bad at doing that.
Explain yourself. Zinger!
See what you're doing there.
Hey, class, please turn your textbooks to page 174. We're talking about songs at the moment.
At the moment, we are.
Yep. I am Sean. I'm your primary teacher, Sean. This is my TA. Matt over here is my TA.
I am Matt. I am all tits and ass.
That's not what TA means in the academic system.
It could.
Well, it's not
We
what
gotta
it's.
fix the lexicon.
It's not the primary meaning. It could, you could have both things apply to you. You could qualify for both things, but teacher's assistant is what I was getting at.
I'm never a primary.
Are you a prime?
I'm always a secondary.
Really?
Always. Yeah. In all aspects of life.
Like, you just like bug-eyed said wink.
Wink.
Wide-eyed. Yeah.
I thought I closed one eye.
No.
We'll have to check the edit.
Maybe I didn't, what? Wink. I wasn't actually the first time
I'm getting used to this whole video version of this podcast still.
Yeah, me too.
I just say wink and they would just assume I winked.
Yeah,
now you might have to edit a blink in one of my eyes for me. That'd be great. No, if you could go ahead and edit just one of my eyes closing during that wink part, I'd highly appreciate it.
Give me a quick wink, a frozen wink.
I'll do the audio version of
that's
audio
that's
part.
Fine. I'm just saying right now, just do a little frozen wink for a second. No, a real wink. Okay, I'll try to see what I can do with that, but okay, that's too much. I said to be still, but anyway, I can take a still of it, but that'd be great if you just did.
I'll just be, hold on, should I do it slightly off to the side so it's a good jump over?
It's very blah, blah, yeah.
Wink.
You'll either jump over or I'll move your whole thing over and the background will slide over. So either way, it'll be pretty obvious that
fully flip the image.
Yeah, I'll make you upside down. It'll be
it just goes whoa.
Yeah, it'll be wacky. It'll be a big wacky time. That wink of yours.
Yeah, both of us. That's what both of us need right now is just more crazy edits.
Because I will say, first of all, I should just formally apologize to you, Matt, and I guess to everyone, because
this is a first.
I have been terrible when it comes to editing these video podcasts because I've only done one, and the more and more we record, the more weeks go by, the more and more behind I get. But
yeah,
one thing I will say is editing a video that is multiple cameras and well over an hour long each, my computer is starting to show its limitations. Whereas before I'm just doing very short 20-minute long videos max. Right. And I still had some moments where I had to wait for things to finish. But right now, yeah, it's showing its age, or not its age, but it's showing its limitations. Yeah,
I was gonna say because I don't think your computer is super old, but it's just a lower end model, or
it's not. It's not old. It's 2020 or 2021. It's not only a couple years old, but it's the base model, base model. So there are definitely more powerful versions of the computer I have, and I've always contemplated I would definitely love to upgrade for various reasons, but it's starting to. If I'm going to seriously, this is obviously going to be something I keep doing,
right?
So it might have to come sooner than later just to make it more bearable for me. And also just so I can more regularly pump them out so that we're actually on a regular schedule with them.
And I'm sure it'll be night and day if you get a higher end model and then you start editing, you just be like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Well, and again, for the most part, anything I've edited so far, it's been a breeze, just smooth.
Yeah.
These newest versions of this computer have like blown the doors off of everything else. And of course, the chips they made were very optimized for this type of a task. Like they cater to the creative professional or prosumer type of a market. And so it's got optimizations in it for these types of things. So
they're big time for for video editing and for music editing.
Yeah, and newer versions that have been made have even more things that kind of make that process go smoothly. So yeah, someday I'll beef it up, and then it'll be a smooth ship. Yeah.
Then maybe people will get a new video episode once a week.
Well, yes, they could. Maybe. They could now if I was really not being so lazy about it. But
I mean, to be fair, editing a video version of this is a lot more work than editing the audio version of this.
It is. And hey, guys, you know what? I've got a full-time job, and I've got a kid.
A full-time kid.
And you know, I'm also trying to just have a social life, too. I can't just be spending my whole time at this little computer of mine.
Full-time drug habit.
So give it a rest. What?
So,
I do take a Claritin, so if that's what you mean.
I was on a big Claritin kick there for a while. I was taking one every day for quite some time.
I just figure why not? It couldn't hurt. I take one daily.
I mean, it can hurt if you take too many.
One daily is not an amount that will hurt. Yeah. The doctor said this amount will not hurt. I said, Doc.
He literally said that? You went to a doctor to get a Claritin prescription?
Yeah, I always go to doctors to get over-the-counter medication. Like,
yeah, just to be safe.
I'm like, can you, just in case someone like wants to audit my life, can you just write a prescription for this Tylenol, please? And then just tell me how much it will take for it to hurt, so I know not to take that many unless I, want to feel something for once.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's get on with the dad joke before we kick off with our main event of this podcast. So this isn't exactly St. Patrick's Day specific, but it does involve the Irish.
Careful.
Say, TA, my grandma is 80% Irish.
Oh, okay.
People call her Iris.
You see, because if you take the H off of Irish, it makes the name Iris.
Yeah, and the word Irish has 5 letters, so you take one away, that's 20% of the entire word of Irish is gone, leaving you with 80%.
80%.
Yeah. So,
her real name is not that at all.
Yeah, they just call her that because someone cleverly was like, "Oh, you're 80% Irish. I'm going to call you Iris," and she's like, "My name is
it's because she got
Seamus.
Poked in the eye once as a kid, and she had a kind of a weird eye."
Yeah, but the other one was normal.
Yeah,
and the other one didn't start off weird; it got weird. Even immediately after the poking, it tried to play it off like all cool, like, "Oh no, I'm fine. I'm a fine eye."
That's what happens to me every time immediately after the poking.
Over time. I try
to play it off.
Over time, things got weird.
Things got weird.
Things got a little risky.
Ho! Nice.
My eye does this little twitch sometimes, and as I said that, like as I'm staring at the camera, my eye went. I don't know if it'll be noticeable, but you might have to do it. I don't know why.
We'll do a crazy edit zoom in on your eye.
It's called a whip zoom, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
I can just cut to a zoomed in.
What do they call it? We'll do a Hitchcock pull into your eye.
Wait, a pull? That's where you go out, further away. A push is going in.
Okay, a Hitchcock zoom. Sorry.
A Hitchcock push or zoom? Which is
I said zoom. We'll do a Hitchcock zoom, and then we'll do a Hitchcock push back out to your normal.
No, a pull out. A Hitchcock pull out. Goes out. You don't, but Hitchcock did. I read about it.
Okay.
He never had children.
The irony. Hitchcock, I think you're hitching onto that cock, so you You get a good grip of it.
But he's Hitchcock, not like the women he's with.
Yeah.
Oh my! I just did it again. Did you see it?
Oh my
Oh, again.
God.
I wonder if I should
All
see
right,
somebody about
Sean, I told you yesterday.
that. Yesterday.
Yes, I told you yesterday because you asked if we could do this episode a little early, and I
Correct.
said yes. And oddly enough, I said I have something for this week's episode.
And I was floored.
You were floored because you were driving and you freaked out and you floored it.
I pushed the gas pedal all the way down until I
Yeah.
could push it no further, and then my
No
car
further.
went as fast as it can drive.
Oh, hey, before I get onto that, you still do some Ubering here and there from time to time, correct?
Very, very intermittently, but yes.
So have you heard the news that Uber and Lyft are pulling out? Unlike
Well,
Hitchcock?
Unlike Hitchcock, Uber and Lyft are threatening to pull out
Yeah.
come May 1st when this new overturned decision is in place where they will guarantee drivers a minimum fare per ride.
Yeah.
But they will pull out of, Minneapolis,
Right.
not the state of Minnesota. And so I'm not sure how much of the area that will encompass, but
Yeah, because I'm kind of wondering, like, what happens then if you get picked up outside of Minneapolis, but you want to go to Minneapolis? Will they won't take those fares?
my thought is there will be no fares that will be like, you can't request a fare from Minneapolis, or they even included the airport. So, a radius around the metro area, we'll say.
Okay.
But I don't see any issue. Well, this is me saying this without really knowing any of the details. I'm just assuming here, but I'm going to assume that if you are someone who lives well outside of this metro area, you will be able to request a ride into Minneapolis because the ride originated from an area outside of the area where they will no longer operate.
Okay, so they'll just have like a zone shut off kind of situation where it won't work, where you just can't
Right.
request from a certain location, basically.
Right. You won't be able, if you're within this radius, you won't be able to request rides any longer. But you could. And again, this is me assuming because,
Yeah.
and so the collective group of like drivers that were sort of in support of all this happening, that basically do this as their full-time living,
Right.
and they of course are thinking that Uber and Lyft are just making an empty threat, and then the business will go on as usual. Obviously, the mayor of Minneapolis is like, we better get ready for a city without Uber and Lyft because they are gonna,
I mean, to be honest, prepare for it because
Well,
just
yes,
in case they might stay true to that threat.
they might, but also, there are other companies that are similar that have already said we're ready to swoop in and fill the void. We're like, we'll go
Oh,
in
yeah.
and saturate that
well,
area.
And worst case scenario too is like cab companies could just start upping their fleet again because cab companies have been just kind of dwindling away.
Because of that,
Yeah, so maybe cab companies will start upping their game in at least inside the city. Who knows? Who knows? We'll see. It'll be interesting.
but because it's funny, a lot of the people that that do drive full time are purportedly former taxi drivers that lost their jobs because Uber
yeah, I'm
came
sure.
in, and so it could return to that where there's just taxis again. But I think it'll be hard for the general public to accept going back to that sort of business model where the fare's running no matter how long. If you're stuck in traffic, the fare just keeps counting up. Or if some driver, I've heard stories of taxi drivers would like purposefully take wrong turns to make the trip last longer so that they get more pay. So
Yeah,
I don't know. I
think
taxis.
maybe cab service should just kind of take on that same Uber and Lyft model of.
I was just gonna say that they could adapt their own model so that it's.
I'm surprised
more like.
they haven't.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised too, but maybe now they'll learn. Maybe now they'll see this as an opportunity to come back with a stronger, more suitable business model that would be
Yeah.
accepted by the general population of Minneapolis and surrounding areas.
Yeah, perhaps. Anyways,
So
so
to answer your question, yes, I did hear that news.
okay. Well, there you go. So back to what I was talking about. So I decided it's been a while since we've done anything using this particular service.
Oh, okay.
Hear me out.
I think I already know what it is.
So I had an idea. I wanted to see if I asked ChatGPT to write me a little skit,
Okay.
what kind of a skit it would write.
Okay. I'm guessing this
So
is the folder called skits. I was.
you would be correct, Sean. So don't open the document quite yet.
Can I open the folder that's called
You can open the
skits?
folder. Yeah.
Whew, all right.
So it started off with just me asking it to write a short skit starring Sean and Matt.
Perfect.
Um,
That's my favorite kind of skit.
yeah, and it wasn't much. We were sipping some coffee at a table, and we just kind of had a conversation about aliens for some reason.
They don't know us at all. I do not drink coffee, Chat GPT.
Yeah. Then I asked it to write me a goofy skit.
Okay.
And that one involved us.
Gosh.
That one involved us baking, and it got crazy, and flour got everywhere, and then eggs, like flour got all over me, and then like eggs got all over me.
Oh,
Hilarious.
classic. Why are we not reading the skit? Why are you giving away the ending?
Because I'm skipping past these because I eventually
Okay.
found something that
You're
I
getting to the
enjoyed
good stuff.
quite a bit. All right.
All right.
Then I asked it to have us do one that involves a murder, and
Ooh.
for some reason, it also involves pizza. I didn't ask it to do that. Pizza gets delivered, the pizza guy disappears, ends up getting killed.
Okay.
Well, because there's a character in it called Pizza Thief.
You're spending a lot of time talking about the things we're not going to read.
Yes, I'm just trying to show you how I got to this process.
Gotcha.
all right?
Gotcha.
Yeah. Then I gave it a couple more prompts. One about having an argument becomes physical. I was just trying all these different things. Something that ends in a cliffhanger. And then I asked it to do one that the entire thing was a cliffhanger. None of this really worked out so great. And then I finally got to a prompt that go ahead and open the folder now, and you can read.
The prompt.
The prompt is at the very top. The stars just represent a location.
All right.
In the
hold
prompt.
on. I don't want to change my account. Let me does this work? Okay. Write a skit starring Sean and Matt where they are at a bunch of
Blank.
asterisks
Some location.
in present day, but they only talk like old 1920s gangsters. Okay.
So there are a lot of these. I made a bunch in a bunch of different locations. I chose the best 10.
Oh, 10.
There's probably another 10 that I kind of just said, maybe not. I picked
Okay.
ones that I thought were kind of my favorites. You'll notice as we go along that ChatGPT kind of found a formula and stuck to it after a while.
Okay. Sure.
So I had to start upping the prompt a little bit, and you'll see subtle changes as it goes. I didn't put all the other prompts in here. It was basically this prompt, and then I would add a couple things to try to make the story a little different, because you'll start to notice after a while that they're very similar in a lot of ways. But to me, that's kind of part of the charm of it.
Well,
so I thought it'd be fun to read through some of these skits.
Let's sit back a second. Name 10 rom-coms, and they go by a formula. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
this is a little bit more of a formula than that.
A little much. Okay.
You'll see what I mean as we kind of go along here. They're all pretty short, so we can easily burn through them.
Okay.
But yeah, get ready to put on your best 20s gangster accent voice here. You'll see that you have lines and I have lines.
Now, here's what I'm wondering, because I need to get this sorted out, because I think the whole, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't the whole see the coppers, isn't that 40s or is that 20s?
I get maybe, I guess.
So 20s is really
So
hard.
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that much. We'll just do those voices.
That type of stuff.
That's the voice I was picturing as I was reading through these originally.
Gotcha. Okay.
So there's occasionally additional characters that pop in on some of the stories.
Okay.
So we'll just kind of...
We can decide on the fly who's going to read for those.
Yeah.
Very
so this is called The Grocery Capers.
All right. There were groceries in the 20s.
Yeah. The scene opens in a bustling grocery store, with Sean and Matt strolling down the aisles, dressed in dapper suits reminiscent of 1920s gangsters. They speak in exaggerated 1920s gangster slang.
Oh gosh, it's specifically that's called direction right there.
Mm-hmm. It's a
All
skit.
right.
That's all you have to do.
Well, ain't this the bee's knees, Matt? A fine establishment we got here.
You said it, Sean. Now let's get down to the brass tacks. Let's get down to brass tacks and snag us some swanky grub.
Right you are, pal. First order of business, nabbing some tomato. Right you are, pal. First order of business, nabbing some tomatoes for Mama's famous spaghetti sauce.
They saunter over to the produce section, eyeing the tomatoes with suspicion.
I don't know if I'm doing so much gangster. It sounds like I'm more doing like radio, like
It's
20s
totally
radio.
fine. I'm totally for it.
You're gonna love it.
Look at them mugs, Sean. Gotta find the ripest tomatoes in the joint.
You're a real wise guy, Matt. Let's give these reds a good squeeze and see if they are the real McCoy.
They inspect the tomatoes, finally settling on a few choice specimens.
These Toms are the cat's pajamas, Matt. Mama's gonna be tickled pink.
No doubt about it, Sean. Now, on to the next item on the list, the cheese counter. They make their way to the cheese counter, where a wisecracking cheesemonger awaits.
Howdy, fellas. What you looking for today?
Give me the finest cheddar you got, my good man. None of that palooka stuff.
You got it, boss. One hunk of primo cheddar coming right up.
The cheesemonger cuts them a generous slice of cheddar, wrapping it up neatly. That's the ticket, my man. You're the aces in our book. With the shopping nearly complete, they head to the checkout counter.
Well, Matt, it looks like we got ourselves a full spread for the shindig tonight.
You said it, Sean. Mama's gonna be over the moon with all this grub. As they pay for their groceries and bid farewell to the store, why they would do that?
So long, store.
Yeah. They tip their hats to the cashier and exit the grocery store, ready to head back to their hideout and enjoy their ill-gotten gains.
I think we got those gains gotten.
Yeah, I thought they were
well gotten.
I thought they were normally
gains.
gotten. End of scene. Another day. Another successful caper in the world of grocery shopping. So
they're lovely skits.
yeah. So I thought that was fun. I wrote that one came up. I wrote that. That one came up, and I was just like, all right, I think I got something here. This could get pretty fun.
Silly,
just
yeah.
Different scenarios and see where they go. As I was going, more, occasionally there are more like cheesemonger characters that happen. And
Okay.
in my head, I'm imagining this is me and you in 2024
Just
doing this, going to these places. Like we're 100% serious about this. And
Yeah.
everybody else around us just doesn't care. Like it just doesn't hit the register at all. So I almost I was reading the other characters like they're just like fed up with it. They're just like, yeah, like because occasionally they'll kind of come up with kind of talk the same way, but I
Okay.
imagine they're doing it more of a sarcastic tone back to them, like, yeah, sure thing, boss.
Gotcha.
That's how I was reading it in my head.
You got it,
And-
boss.
Yeah, pretty
One
much.
hunk of primo cheddar coming right up. Okay.
And
I
I'm
mean-
just imagine, yeah. As we go on more, I'll kind of explain more of what my head process is thinking about this.
We can do it that way if you want.
Oh, yeah,
If any character I read for that's not me, maybe I can do. Okay.
Eventually, I put in there that other people are annoyed with it, and you'll see how that kind of factors in.
Gotcha. So since you did that, you can count that all as your original work. I think.
No,
No. Oh.
I just
Sir,
no. All right.
Sir.
This next one is called the Postal Palaver. Is what I
Palaver?
believe
I
that
don't know.
word is. It's a weird
Palaver.
word.
I'm not sure what that
Palaver.
word means.
This scene opens in a bustling post office with
might be
Sean and
palaver.
Matt standing in line. Palaver?
It might be palaver. I don't know. Just thinking of how words are typically pronounced.
We'll change it.
Okay.
This scene opens at a bustling post office with Sean and Matt standing in line, dressed in classic 1920s gangster attire. They speak in exaggerated 1920s gangster slang.
Okay, a bustling grocery store followed by a bustling post office.
Yeah,
you'll start to see I'm already seeing a pattern.
It gets way more patterny.
Oh, no, I can see my first line. Okay. All right, let's go. Well, ain't this a swell joint, Matt? A real classy establishment.
You said it, Sean. Let's get a wiggle on and take care of our business, see?
Right as rain, pal. First things first, we gotta mail this letter to our old pal Vinny.
They approach the counter, where a sharp-dressed postal worker stands ready to assist.
Howdy, fellas. What you need today?
Give me the skinny, chum. We gotta shoot this letter off to Vinny pronto.
You got it, boss. Hand it over and I'll get it squared away in a jiffy.
They hand over the letter, watching as the postal worker stamps it and sends it on its way. That's the bee's knees, pal. Vinny's gonna be pleased as punch to get our letter.
No problemo, fellas. Anything else I can help you with?
As a matter of fact, we gotta pick up a package for our friend Johnny. You got anything for us?
Let me take a gander. What's the name on the package?
Johnny the Snake Malone. He's expecting a package from his cousin down in Chi-Town.
Ah, I see it here. One package for Johnny the Snake Malone coming right up.
The postal worker retrieves the package and hands it over to Sean and Matt.
Hot dog, that's the ticket, pal. Johnny's gonna be over the moon with this package.
You're a real stand-up guy, pal. We appreciate the help. With the postal errands complete, Sean and Matt tip their hats to the postal worker and head out of the post office, ready to deliver their letter and package to their pals. End of scene. Another day, another successful exchange in the world of 1920s-style postal service.
Nice. We didn't say farewell to the post office this time.
No, but we tipped our hats to the postal worker.
We did.
Learning. It's a learning computer. It's a neural processor.
Oh no!
Skynet. So, I imagined, like, if we were to actually go and film these, because they're so repetitive is what makes it kind of almost funnier to me, is like if we just did these series of us doing these things, and it's just these two idiot dudes, and everywhere we go, we basically say the exact same thing to all the same people in just a different scenario, so the things that we're interacting with are slightly different. And I don't know why it just tickles me.
You know, one thing I'll say about what I did this time is I started too early with the postal worker being annoyed. Before we said anything to him, he was already annoyed.
I mean,
so I that was my fault.
It's not inaccurate of a postal worker.
But I think I should let you be the
okay.
third character this time.
All right, I'll do this one. This one's called The Boba Brew Up. I wanted to put us in a very specific modern setting.
But 1920.
A boba tea establishment. Oh, no, I mean, it's not the 1920s. It is present day. It's always present day in all of these.
Okay. Oh, gotcha. Okay. What is happening behind you?
Always present day. My light flickered for some reason. But yeah, so that's the thing to always keep in mind. It is always currently present day.
Okay.
These just think they're from the 20s.
Gotcha. Okay, that changes everything.
Yeah. That's why I don't want the other characters to sound at all like they're talking
gotcha.
from the same time period, because it's like everybody else around them is just like whatever with
what
these
are these guys doing?
These guys are weird.
Tell me one of these skits takes place in an internet cafe.
I didn't think about that one.
But that's not modern exactly, but
yeah.
It's post-20s, but it's not modern.
Yeah. All right, so the Boba Brew Up. The scene opens in a trendy boba tea cafe with Sean and Matt seated at a table. Dressed in vintage 1920s gangster attire, they speak in exaggerated 1920s gangster slang.
Okay, if we were going to film these things, we would have to have this little direction, this little narration would have to be there.
Every time.
Yeah. Well, ain't this a swanky joint, Matt? A real classy establishment for a mug of boba.
You said it, Sean. Let's get a wiggle on and wet our whistles with some of that fancy tea, see?
Right as rain, pal. First things first, we gotta pick our poison from the menu.
They approach the counter, where a stylish barista stands ready to take their order. Howdy, fellas. What can I get you today? Not how can I get you today?
Give me the lowdown, chum. What's the scoop on your top shelf boba teas?
We got all the cat's meow flavors, fellas. From classic milk tea to groovy fruit blends. Well, ain't that the berries? We'll take 2 of your finest milk teas and make it snappy. You got it, boss. Coming right up. The barista prepares their drinks. Sean and Matt take a seat and engage in some light banter.
Mad old sport, what's the buzz on the street these days?
You know how it is, Sean. Same old song and dance. But ain't life just a barrel of monkeys with an old cup of with a cup of boba in hand?
You're a real wise guy, Matt. But I gotta say, this boba joint really hits the spot.
The barista returns with their drink, setting them down on the table with a flourish. Here you go, fellas. 2 ice-cold milk teas, just the way you like 'em.
Hot diggity, that's the ticket, pal. Here's looking at you, kid.
You're the aces in our book, pal. Keep up the good work. With their boba teas in hand, Sean and Matt raise their cups in a toast before taking a sip, enjoying the refreshing beverage and the company of each other in this swanky boba tea joint. End of scene. Another day, another successful sip of boba in the world of 1920s-style gangsters. I love it.
Love it. All right, I've got, yeah. I mean, this is not deviating at all from...
No. That's what's...
Okay.
To me, that's what's so funny about it.
All right.
Is because I literally do imagine filming every one of these, and they literally are almost 100% all the exact same.
Wow. All right. Next up.
Next up.
I can read the stage direction this time.
Oh, right.
Oh, other things.
Let's do it.
Title: DMV Drama.
The scene opens in a crowded DMV waiting area with Sean and Matt seated among other patrons, all dressed in vintage 1920s gangster attire. They speak in exaggerated 1920s gangster slang.
This one makes it sound like everybody's dressed as 1920s
It did.
now.
I think it still just means the 2 of us, though. Like, we are all dressed up in it.
Got it.
Well, ain't this a fine pickle, Matt? Waiting in this joint is like watching paint dry.
You said it, Sean. Let's get a wiggle on and every time. And grease the wheels with some of that old DMV magic, see?
Is that something people say? Right as rain, pal. First things first, we gotta fill out them forms and get our ducks in a row.
They approach the counter where a weary-looking DMV clerk awaits.
Howdy, fellas. What can I do for you today?
Give me the lowdown, chum. We gotta renew our licenses and get this rigmarole over with.
You got it, boss. Fill out these forms, have a seat. I'll call you when it's your turn.
They take the forms and find a seat in the waiting area, grumbling under their breath.
Look at them mugs, Sean. I'd rather be as busy as a one-armed paper hanger than wait in this joint.
You're a real wise guy, Matt. We gotta play the hand we're dealt, see?
As they fill out the forms, they engage in some light banter.
Matt, old sport, what's the buzz on the street these days?
You know how it is, Sean. Same old song and dance. But ain't life just a barrel of monkeys with a little hustle and bustle?
You're a real stand-up guy, Matt. But let's not forget why we're here. We got to keep our eye on the prize and get through this red tape.
After what feels like an eternity, their names are finally called, and they approach the counter to complete their transactions.
All right, fellas, everything's squared away. Here are your new licenses. Have a good one.
Hot diggity, that's the ticket, pal. Your ace is in our book.
You said it, Sean. Let's blow this pop stand and hit the road.
As they leave the DMV, Sean and Matt tip their hats to the clerk, relieved to be done with their errand and ready to hit the streets once more. End of scene. Another day, another DMV adventure in the world of 1920s-style gangsters.
I love the little end tag scene at the end of every one because I just imagine, I literally am picturing these visually. That's how you do it. But I'm literally picturing like filmed versions of these, and it just ends with that little tag every single time, and it's just the stupidest thing. These are so dumb to me, but I love them.
They are. Nothing even happens.
No.
You would hope that in a story involving 1920 style gangsters, there'd be some sort of conflict, but they're just annoying.
No, there eventually will be some, but I literally had to tell it to do it.
Got it. Okay.
Otherwise, it's literally just these 2 dudes who talk like this that are just normal dudes, just doing normal things.
And then they have some banter, and then that's it. Then they go.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's so
Good
stupid.
stuff. It is. All right, let's see. The playground perambulation.
The scene opens at a playground with Sean and Matt strolling around dressed in vintage 1920s gangster attire. They speak in exaggerated 1920s gangster slang.
Mm-hmm.
Well, ain't this a swell playground, Matt? A real classy joint for some fine recreation.
You said it, Sean. Let's get a wiggle on and see what kind of shenanigans we can get into, see?
Right as rain, pal. First things first, we gotta pick our poison from the lineup of activities.
They survey the playground, eyeing the swings, slides, and jungle gym with keen interest.
Look at them swings, Sean. Gotta catch some air, see? It's the cat's meow.
You're a real wise guy, Matt. But let's not forget about that slide. It's a real humdinger.
As they make their way to the swings, they continue to speak in their exaggerated 1920s gangster slang.
That one threw me off. Look at that swing, Matt. It's a real high-flying beauty.
You said it, Sean. Let's give him the old razzle-dazzle, see?
They take turns on the swings, laughing and enjoying themselves like a couple of kids.
This playground's the bee's knees, Matt. A real knockout.
You're darn tootin', Sean. Let's give him the old 1-2, see?
What?
This
As they-
did not know what to do with this story at
No.
all.
As they move on to the slide, Sean and Matt continue to have a blast. Their enthusiasm for the playground undiminished by their adult status.
Hot dog. That was a real humdinger of a slide, Matt.
You're the aces in my book, Sean. Let's hit the road before we get the bums rush.
As they make their exit, Sean and Matt continue to talk continue to talk animatedly about their playground adventure. Their spirits are high, and their friendship stronger than ever. End of scene. Another day, another playful romp in the world of 1920s style gangsters.
So true.
This is what the day in the life of a 20-style gangster must have been.
Yeah, must have. This is historical fiction.
Is it? Yeah. But yeah, sure. I don't know.
I mean, technically,
I
yes.
think historical fiction
But
is where
it's
it's
supposed to be
mostly
taking
based
place
on.
now.
But it's like we're creating the historical fiction, or we're embodying the historical fiction in the modern world. What's happening here?
Yeah. I can see what you. Yeah, we're embodying. Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
All right. This one is called The County Fair Caper. It's our second caper.
The scene opens at a bustling county fair with Sean and Matt strolling through the attractions dressed in vintage 1920s gangster attire. They speak in exaggerated 1920s gangster slang.
What they do? All right, I'm gonna have to really stretch my acting with this one because we are going way off of base here.
Yeah.
Well, ain't this a real See, I got myself all okay.
Yeah, you added a word.
I did. Okay.
I mean, nobody else would have known that.
Stick to the script. Well, ain't this a swell fair, Matt? A real classy joint for some good old-fashioned fun.
You said it, Sean. Let's get a wiggle on and see what kind of hotsy-totsy shenanigans we can get into, see?
Right as rain, pal. First things first, we gotta pick our poison from the lineup of attractions.
They survey the fairgrounds, eyeing the Ferris wheel, cotton candy stands, and game booths with keen interest.
Look at that Ferris wheel, Sean. Gotta catch a ride to the top, see? It's the cat's meow.
You're a real wise guy, Matt. But let's not forget about them shooting galleries. They're a real humdinger.
As they make their way to the Ferris wheel, they continue to speak in their exaggerated 1920s gangster slang.
Look at that view, Matt. A real high-flying beauty.
You said it, Sean. Let's give him the old razzle-dazzle, see?
As they ride the Ferris wheel, Sean and Matt enjoy the sights and sounds of the fair, laughing and joking like a couple of kids.
This fair's the bee's knees, Matt. A real knockout.
You're darn tootin', Sean. Let's give him the old 1-2, see?
After the Ferris wheel, they move on to the shooting gallery, where they try their hand at hitting targets.
Hot dog. That was a real humdinger of a shot, Matt.
You're the aces in my book, Sean. Let's hit the road before we get the bums rush.
You're
Are
the
you
one who
seeing
did
the pattern? Are you seeing
yeah,
the pattern
well, of
here?
course, of course. But you're the one who had the humdinger of a shot. But why does that make me aces in your book?
Because you're complimenting me.
I witnessed your shot. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
you're like,
noticed
hey,
your talent.
That was good. That was a great
Yeah, you
shot.
know-
And I'm like, hey, you know what, Sean? You're aces in my book because
What
you
the
always
story-
lift me up. You always build me up and make me feel good about myself.
What the story doesn't include is that I had a much better shot just before that, but I was
Right.
still like
And I
complimenting
didn't say
you.
a
Good
fucking
shot.
thing about
You
it.
didn't. You didn't. You were off like pissing or something.
Yeah, I was still up on the Ferris wheel.
But then you
Giving
got
the old
over
one,
real
too.
fast. Before you got the bums rush. I don't know what giving any of
It
these
just sounds
rides
like-
or I know what giving.
Sounds like I have diarrhea.
None of this is not a caper. Also, this is not a caper. Neither was the grocery store. There's no caper.
Look, ChatGPT tried really, really hard on these, Sean.
It sounds like it. Hey, you know what? Let me finish this off.
Right
We
now,
have
you're
this-
not the aces in its book.
I'm in ChatGPT's book. I am not the aces.
No.
As they make their exit, Sean and Matt continue to talk animatedly about their fair adventure. Their spirits high and their friendship stronger than ever. End of scene. Another day, another hotsy-totsy romp in the world of 1920s-style gangsters.
Not sure why Hotsy Totsy is in there.
I don't know, but I do like that the sentences will start with the exact same dialogue,
Yeah.
but then they'll throw in like hotsy totsy or they'll
Oh,
change
you
it
like
up.
for the end scene ones?
Well, not even that, but
Or
like
all of
your-
them, like all of them, all
Like
of the
your-
exact
Like
sentences.
your lines have traditionally started with "You said it, Sean. Let's get a wiggle on," but then like
Yep.
the hotsy totsy was new, whereas the previous
Yeah.
one, was a something else. I like that.
It's like it literally takes. It's funny that it ended up getting into this format where it was literally the same story every time, but it just had to change enough to make it be in the new scene that I was giving it.
Yeah.
And I don't know why it did that, because the first couple it didn't really format that way, and then after I was just changing the location, it just started formatting it and just making it the same thing every time. And I don't know why that made me laugh so hard.
I'm just wondering
They
why
were just so identical.
I'm just wondering what Chad GPT thinks a caper is. 'Cause,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Next one,
All right.
Sean.
Next one.
Tupperware Tango.
Ooh, does that mean you're taking over?
I'll take over.
All right.
The scene opens in a quaint suburban home adorned with colorful decorations for a Tupperware party. Sean and Matt are mingling with other guests dressed in 1920s gangster attire. They speak in exaggerated 1920s gangster slang.
Definitely modern. I don't believe there were Tupperware parties back in the 20s.
Mm-hmm.
The 1920s.
Yeah, the aught 20s, or not the aught 20s. In the 2020s, there's definitely.
What would you call it? Yeah, what would you call
The aught
this?
20s would be the year 20.
Oh. Plenty of Tupperware parties then. Well, ain't this a swanky shindig, Matt? A real classy gig for some fine Tupperware.
You said it, Sean. Let's get a wiggle on and see what kind of razzle-dazzle these Tupperware dames have got for us, see?
Right as rain, pal. First things first, we gotta pick our poison from the lineup of plastic
course.
containers. Yeah.
They survey the Tupperware display, eyeing the various shapes and sizes with keen interest.
Look at them containers, Sean. Gotta find the cat's meow for storing leftovers, see? It's the bee's knees.
You're a real wise guy, Matt, but let's not forget about them fancy lids. They're a real humdinger.
I love this one so much.
Oh,
As
anyway,
they make
yeah.
their way to the Tupperware display, they continue to speak in exaggerated 1920s gangster slang.
Look at that seal, Matt. A real tight fit.
You said it, Sean. Let's give him the old razzle-dazzle, see?
There's nothing 1920s about what I said.
Nope.
But yours was just 20s
Full.
all over the place.
Yeah. Give him the old razzle-dazzle. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what you do to Tupperware.
They examine the Tupperware products. Sean and Matt engage in lively banter with other guests.
This Tupperware's the cat's pajamas, Matt. A real knockout.
You're darn tootin', Sean. Let's give him the old 1-2, see? What does that mean?
I don't know.
After making their Tupperware purchases, they join the other guests for refreshments and conversation.
Hot dog. That was a real humdinger of a Tupperware party, Matt.
You're the aces in my book, Sean. Let's hit the roll before we get the old bums rush.
Yeah.
As they make their exit, Sean and Matt continue to talk animatedly about their Tupperware adventure. Their spirits high and their friendship stronger than ever.
Our friendship has gotten so
It's
strong by
so
this point.
strong.
It's ridiculous.
It's like Loctite.
Yeah. It's like Tupperware tight. It's a real tight fit.
That seal's real tight.
Yeah. End of scene. Another day. Another Tupperware tango in the world of 1920s style gangsters.
Another part I liked about this one is it's like it leads to us. It's saying that we are going to engage in lively banter with other guests, but it's just us talking to each other.
It just doesn't deliver because nobody else wants anything to do with us.
Maybe ChatGPT is smarter than we think, and that's it.
Might be, yeah.
Its own. That's the joke it came up with. It conceived of that joke.
That's pretty good, actually. Then,
I mean,
all right.
I'd say I'd hand it to you, ChatGPT, if that's the case.
So this next one, I finally did give it a little bit more of a prompt to try to get away from it just continuing to make the same story every single time. So this one's called The McDonald's Mayhem. The scene opens in a bustling McDonald's restaurant with Sean and Matt seated at a booth. Dressed in 1920s gangster attire, they speak in exaggerated 1920s gangster slang, much to the annoyance of the other customers.
Oh, boy. Well,
there are several characters in this one.
Okay. Well, ain't this a swell joint, Matt? A real class act for some grubbing.
You said it, Sean. Let's get a wiggle on and grab us some nosh, see?
Nosh.
The other customers shoot them annoyed glances as they approach the counter, continuing
like
their
they shoot
banter in their unique style.
Right as rain, pal. First things first. We gotta pick our poison from the menu.
Look at them burgers, Sean. Gotta find the cat's meow for our chow, see? It's the bee's knees. The cashier looks puzzled as Sean and Matt order, struggling to understand their slang.
Sorry, can you guys repeat that? I didn't quite catch it.
Give me the lowdown, chum. We want 2 burgers with all the fixins and make it snappy.
Okay. 2 burgers, got it. Anything else?
You're a real wise guy, pal. Let's not forget about them fries. They're a real humdinger. The cashier rolls their eyes and rings up their order, trying to maintain their composure.
That'll be $10.99. Please wait for your order over there.
Sean and Matt thank the cashier in their unique style. We're not going to say what that is, though.
Nope,
drawing
not this time.
Drawing more annoyed looks from other customers.
Hot dog. That was a real smooth transaction, Matt.
You're darn tootin', Sean. Let's give him the old 1-2, see?
I love it.
As they wait for their food,
I'm loving it.
The other customers exchange frustrated glances and mutter amongst themselves.
Can you believe those guys? Talking like they're straight out of the 1920s?
Yeah, it's like there's some kind of gangster movie or something. Or in some kind of gangster movie or something. Real annoying if you ask me.
Sean and Matt receive their food and sit back down at their booth, continuing their lively conversation in their unique style.
This grub's the bee's knees, Matt. A real knockout.
You're the aces in my book, Sean. Let's hit the road before we get the bums rush. As they make their exit, Sean and Matt continue to talk animatedly about their McDonald's adventure, unaware of the annoyance they've caused among other customers. End of scene. Another day, another McDonald's mayhem in the world of 1920s style gangsters.
Wow, the ChatGPT really went off book here. Like they really added a lot of dimension to this one.
It wasn't that much different, but
no, I know.
Let's be honest.
That's what I'm.
Really
it's okay. 2 customers are like, whoa, it's like they're gangsters. Yeah, it's like they're in a gangster movie.
So this next one, again, I added a little bit more of a prompt to it to make it, again, slightly different.
Okay.
And then the last one after that, same thing. So
big time. This one's called The Bank Brouhaha.
The scene opens inside a busy bank with Sean and Matt waiting in line, dressed in vintage 1920s gangster attire. They speak in exaggerated 1920s gangster slang, drawing annoyed glances from the other customers.
Well, ain't this a swell bank, Matt? A real classy joint for some financial business.
You said it, Sean. Let's get a wiggle on and handle our affairs, see?
I would love if people really talk to each other like this.
As they approach the teller, Sean and Matt continue their banter, much to the irritation of the other customers.
Right as rain, pal. First things first, we gotta make a withdrawal from the bank, see?
It just makes it seem like they're going to rob the place at this point. Talking like that and then saying out loud, we need to make a withdrawal.
We're gonna make an illegal withdrawal, see? With our guns, see?
Look at them greenbacks, Sean. Gotta grab some dough for our pocket, see? It's the cat's meow.
It's not what you do at a bank. You don't just grab bills and put them in your pocket. Anyway,
The teller looks puzzled as Sean and Matt make their request in their unique style.
Sorry, could you guys speak a bit more clearly? I'm having trouble understanding.
give me the lowdown, chum. We want to withdraw some cash and make it snappy.
Oh, okay. How much would you like to withdraw?
You're a real wise guy, pal, but let's not forget them big bills. They're a real humdinger.
Okay.
The teller rolls their eyes and proceeds to process their transaction, trying to maintain their composure.
Okay.
That'll be $500. Please wait for your cash over there.
You know, how you do in a bank.
Yeah.
Also, you never told me the amount, so here's just $500.
I made sure they were in big bills as you requested. The real
you asked
humdinger
for big
ones.
bills. Everybody knows $500 is big bills.
Yeah.
When you ask
in the
a teller,
20s? Yeah, for
when you
us
ask
in the
a teller
20s.
for
Yeah.
big bills, they give you $500
Wow.
and
Wait
ask
for
you to
your
go
cash
pick it up
over there.
somewhere else.
Yeah. Go drive up to the second window, please.
As they wait for their cash, one of the other customers approaches Sean, clearly annoyed by their antics.
Hey, you two. Can you cut it out with the old-timey talk? You're making everyone uncomfortable.
Who do you think you are, buddy? You're gonna get on my bad side real quick if you keep flapping your gums like that.
I'm just asking you to speak normally like everyone else. Is that too much to ask?
Sean's demeanor turns cold, and he leans in close to the customer, his voice dropping to a dangerous tone.
Listen here, pal. You better watch your step or you might find yourself in a world of trouble. You don't want to mess with me and my associate here. We got ways of dealing with nosy types like you, see?
The customer backs off, clearly intimidated by Sean's threat, and hurries back to his spot in line. Sean smirks triumphantly, satisfied with his display of power.
That's the ticket, Sean. Let's get out of here before things really heat up.
As they make their exit, Sean and Matt continue to talk animatedly about their bank visit, oblivious to the tension they've caused among the other customers. End of scene. Another day, another bank brouhaha in the world of 1920s-style gangsters.
Like how it always says, like, another bank brouhaha. Like, there's been several other bank brouhahas in these two people's lives. This is just the only one we're talking about right now.
I'm assuming that every time they visit a bank, it is a brouhaha.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing that is I've
That is a
been
word
let
that doesn't
down.
get used enough, by the way.
It does not. I mean, neither do so many of those words in this.
This is true.
Or phrases in these stories. But I'm a little let down of the fact that this particular story did not result in their friendship being stronger than ever. Maybe
Well,
maybe we've reached peak
there's
strength.
tension. Yeah, there's a lot of tension too, because now money's involved.
Money's involved. People are
Yeah.
not in favor of us talking in this old timey style. So what are we gonna do?
There was one aspect that I wanted to try to add in to the stories, but I haven't done it yet. I thought about it earlier today, where I almost want them to like also like freak out at the cost of things. So like when they were at McDonald's and it cost $10.99, I almost wanted like add some sort of prompt in there where they start freaking out over the price. Like, what? Burger's supposed to be like 5 cents.
Yeah,
Like they literally think they're from the 20s.
I get it.
Yeah. This is the last one now.
Okay.
The last of the ones I chose, like I said, there's a bunch more.
Sure. But these are the ones you compiled for
Yeah,
this.
because a lot of the other ones that I took out were, again, just very similar to the other ones we've already read. You know, we already read about 5 that were completely identical.
Wait, I was going to say, you took ones out that were
just like
similar.
yeah, because at that point it was like, all right, this is too many of them that are very similar situations.
No,
so
I
I think I
think
just need to add a little bit more prompts in there to make them a little bit more fun.
I think your real attitude toward it was, hey, I don't want to include stories that are similar. I need them to be exactly the same. So I'm going to take out the ones that are similar and keep in the identical stories.
Yeah, if you thought that was bad. So this last one's called The Laundered Laundry.
Ooh.
The scene opens in a busy laundromat, because everything's either busy or bustling,
Right.
where Sean and Matt reside.
Two very different things, by the way.
Yeah. With Sean and Matt sorting their clothes into washing machines. Dressed in vintage 1920s gangster attire, they speak in exaggerated 1920s gangster slang, drawing annoyed glances from other customers.
I wish it would have said sorting their vintage 1920s style clothes into their
Gangster
washing
clothes.
machines or whatever. Yeah. Okay. Well, ain't this a swell joint, Matt? A real classy place to get our threads cleaned.
You said it, Sean. Let's get a wiggle on and scrub a dub, see? As they load their clothes into the machines, I forgot that I was reading this one.
That's fine.
Sean and Matt continue their banter, much to the irritation of other customers.
Right as rain, pal. First things first. We got to pick our poison from the lineup of detergents. Of course.
Look at them suds, Sean.
Any regular visitor of a laundromat is going to bring their own detergent. Okay?
Yeah. But they have a whole lineup.
Yeah, at this place. Or maybe they brought their own lineup.
They're very used to lineups.
Big time. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it.
I just love that every single time. We got to pick up poison.
Yeah.
It's so funny to me. Look at them suds, Sean. Gotta find the cat's meow for our duds, see? It's the bee's knees. The other customers exchange annoyed glances as Sean and Matt engage in their unique conversation.
Can you guys keep it down? Your old-timey talk is really annoying.
Yeah, it's like we're in some kind of gangster movie or something. Can you talk like normal people?
Sean's expression darkens as he turns to face the customer who spoke up, his tone becoming menacing.
You two got a problem with the way we talk, huh? You best watch your step, or you might find yourself in a real tight spot.
Hey, we're just asking you to tone it down. No need to get all hostile.
Sean steps closer to the customer, his voice dropping to a dangerous whisper.
You don't want to mess with me and my associate here. We got ways of dealing with nosy types like you, see?
As the tension escalates, Matt steps forward, pulling a gun from his waistband and pointing it at the customers. That's enough out of yous mugs. You want to dance with the devil, huh? Well, you just bought yourselves a front row seat for dancing. It's one of them fancy dancing seats. The customers back away, clearly intimidated by Matt's display of force, and hurriedly leave the laundromat. Sean and Matt smirk triumphantly, satisfied with their dominance.
That's a ticket, Matt. Let's finish up here and blow this joint before the coppers show up.
As they quickly gather their clean clothes and exit the laundromat, Sean and Matt continue to talk animatedly about their encounter. Their spirits high, and their friendship stronger than ever. End of scene.
Yes.
Another day, another laundered laundry in the world of 1920s style gangsters.
Another laundered laundry.
Yep.
I don't understand that. And, like, okay, yeah, maybe the gun you pulled scared them a little bit, but I'm pretty sure my menacing tone is really what made them hurry out of there.
I don't know. They were intimidated by my display of force.
I love how we timed it so perfectly that right when they left, that's when our loads were done, and we could just take our clean clothes and go.
Yeah. I always know exactly when to finish my load.
Yeah. Well, the machine decides that. You know exactly when your load is finished.
I can stop the machine whenever I want. It's done when I say it's done.
Whenever your load is done, you turn the machine off?
No, I mean, I can take my load out whenever I'm ready.
But that's when you turn off the machine.
I can release my load. I can release my load when I want to.
Exactly. But so basically once your load is released.
Machine off first.
Oh, you keep it going.
Sure.
You keep the machine going once your load is released. Why?
Yeah. I don't know. It does make a mess. I will say that.
Yeah, so I don't know why you do it. It's just, I mean, you're just making more work for yourself. And I mean, I don't know about you, but whenever my load is released, I don't really feel like doing much of anything else.
You know, that's true.
Noise.
And I really don't want to clean up afterwards.
I mean, that's why you hire a service now.
Yeah.
You hire like Merry Maids, but they're walking into a mess that they were not expecting every time.
Yeah. It's definitely not what they were expecting.
Your place is like pristine and spotless, but you just make a certain concentrated mess and you you hire them to come over and
specific spot.
You're like, hey, like you see that over there, like just take care of that, please.
That's the cum corner. Just go over there and take care. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's the fucking cum corner. Like,
I feel like it's.
I mean,
I think it's wrong if I don't tell you.
I'm also not going to put it past you to figure it out on your own. It's not like you're going to not know what is over there when you get over there.
Yeah.
I mean, the smell, though unusual for
it's very distinct.
Yeah, yeah. I imagine yours is very particular for some reason, like a little unusual, but
no, I mean,
it has the essence of a normal smelling.
In full honesty, cum has a very distinct smell. When I worked at the when I worked at the makeup place, hold on,
what is happening here?
Let me cook. When I worked at the makeup company that I worked at,
sure,
there was this one section of we had moved into a new building, so they were like doing a lot of like remodeling to the building prior to us moving in, and then more continued after we had moved into the building. There was this one specific section when you first kind of come into the warehouse that was kind of this enclosed little room space, and they decided that they wanted to like redo the flooring on that, like do one of those poured floorings that you ever see those ones that kind of look like confetti floors?
Yeah,
kind of that special. For whatever reason, that room after they did that floor just smelled like somebody ejaculated everywhere. Like that floor had the exact smell of semen, and I couldn't be the only person who realized it. Like nobody spoke of it. I spoke of it, but nobody else spoke of it.
Of course you did, because you're with coworkers, and that's what the kind of thing you
No, it wasn't. I didn't speak of it with coworkers. I spoke of it with other people. But yeah, it was like there's no other, like that is like the only thing, certain smells hit you and you just like immediately like, oh, it's that. Like, oh, that's lilac. Oh, that's something else. What's funny about lilac? It's
no, but it's just like
smell.
you're listing off like, oh,
nice
smells. These common smells you come across.
Okay, like burnt popcorn. Like it's a very distinct, specific smell. It's like it immediately triggers that thing, and it's like walking to that room. The first time I smelled it, was like, that is sperm. That is semen. I'm like, do I have some on me somehow? Like, why am I smelling? Is there something in my?
You're like I changed afterwards. Like, why am I still smelling this?
Yeah, I jerked off, but I was pretty sure I didn't get any on me.
Yeah. I mean, it could be like there's something about Mary situation where it's like dangling from your ear and they're like, oh, I need some hair gel. Anyway.
Yeah. That was not a healthy sperm consistency in that movie, let me just say.
Well, it's also funny
that's
that
how thick your sperm is.
Isn't it crazy that was also like the main marketing element of that movie?
Yeah.
Like, this is what we're going to focus on to get people to see this.
Yeah, she puts
a bit of cum in her hair and thinking it's hair gel, and it like sticks up like crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I've known a few women in my life, and I don't know any that would just like, let's say it is hair gel for real.
Right.
Right. None of them are going to just put some in their hair and like style it without looking in a mirror.
True. But
this
I don't know. There's
realistic.
just something about Mary.
That's what is unrealistic about that movie to me.
Yeah,
I was immediately out. I was taken out of it. I was taken out of it right away once that scene came up. I'm like, I can't buy into this movie
not the
anymore.
dog in a full body cast.
Look, I forgot about that part.
Or the, him somehow zipping his penis up in his zipper the way it did, where it was like some of it was zipped and then open and then some more was zipped. I'm like, that's not how a zipper works.
Yeah, I mean, I tried several times to recreate that and it was unsuccessful.
Yeah, I just accidentally chopped my dick off. Unrelated.
Chopped? Unrelated. Yeah, this was
Unrelated.
not. You weren't using a zipper at all. So
I hadn't even heard about the movie yet.
Wait a minute, was this so you could poke yourself in the eye with it?
Oh, callback.
See, thanks. I don't know what. You're welcome.
Was that a compliment?
I don't know.
Well, Sean, I hope you enjoyed those skits.
I
would
did
absolutely love to film those someday.
We would have so.
Because they're so
Here's
stupid.
my question. So, are we walking up and saying these things to people that don't know what's going on, or do we have people playing
No,
the people helping us?
I think the other characters would definitely have to be casted parts.
Well, because if we walked
But I
up
think
if we went to McDonald's and we walked up and ordered McDonald's in that way, they would still take the order.
yeah,
And they
just
would
wouldn't
probably
care.
still have some goofy thing to say about it. But that one could work, except for the fact, I don't know when the last time is that you've been inside of McDonald's, but the last time I went inside of McDonald's, I meant to just walk up and order, because they want you to order on this kiosk now, right?
Yeah.
That was causing problems, so, and this is not me being like old man, like, oh, how does technology work? Something was erroring out or something when I tried to do it.
Okay.
So I just walked up to the counter, thinking I could just order at the counter. And they're like, oh, you should order. Did you try to order at the kiosk? I'm like, well, yeah, but there was something going wrong with it, so I just want to order here. Oh, no, come on. Let me show you how to use it. So rather than just taking my order at the counter at the register, she walked me over to the kiosk to then show me how to do it. And after we got our food and sat down, we were looking over.
Gross.
It smelled like semen, and there was a weird film. Anyway, we looked over, and that same employee was like showing like a bunch of other people how to use the kiosk. And I thought, I'm sure their aim is to eventually get every customer to the point where they are comfortable using the kiosk. But right now, this is a very bumpy transitional point where this is not faster than just taking the order at the counter. And, you know, I'd say at least 5 times out of 10, maybe even more, someone you show right now how to use this is probably not going to be coming back the next day and go, got it. They're going to go back like weeks later maybe to go inside of McDonald's and then go, how do I do this again? And then they have to get shown all over again.
Yeah, I mean, those things, I mean, sure, they're convenient or whatever, but
they're
they're
convenient.
They're stupid. It's like the problem is too is like McDonald's prices keep going up. It's not like they're cheaper now because like here's the thing. I'm an unpaid employee at this point taking my own order.
I was going to say, yes, it's more convenient for who? For the employees.
Yeah. So I'm taking my own order, but you're still charging me more for the food that I'm buying.
Yeah.
Because your prices are going up.
Well, you know,
So
they had to raise the minimum wage, of course.
Yeah. But it's the same situation of like self-checkouts at a store, especially like a store like a Walmart, where you then have a person. So you self-checkout, right? You're purchasing your items, you're scanning your items, you're putting them in the bag. Now you're going to leave. And now somebody at the door has to check your receipt to make sure that you did their job for them.
Right.
It's like if you're already going to make me check out my own items and bag my own items and make my payment, and I'm not getting paid to do that job for everybody else, then you need to trust that I did your job for you and not check my receipt when I leave. If you can't trust me to do that, then put employees in place that are going to fucking actually scan my shit in.
Yeah. I mean, you always do have the option of going through a regular line, though.
For now.
But your receipts,
there's going to be a time where that's gone completely.
Yeah, but even if you go through a line with a cashier, your receipt still gets checked. Because it's not like that person is paying attention to who went through a line and who went through the self-checkout. They're not paying attention to that.
But it's getting to the point where it's like, just start walking past those fucking people. If they're like, we have to check your receipt. It's like, no, if you don't trust that I did your job for you, then stop having us self-checkout.
There's a now I don't know if this is specific to states, like if different states have their different laws about or what's actually required as far as checking a receipt, but there's a person on another podcast that I listen to that he looked it all up, and they're in New Jersey, and he said that, you know, they don't legally actually have to, they can't legally make the customer show their receipt. Like the customer doesn't actually have to present their receipt. So he always denies them. No, I'm not showing you my receipt, and then they'll leave. But the employees will try to get like uppity about it and try to make them. But he knows that they're not allowed to force him to show it, or he can leave. So I wonder if that's the case everywhere, or
I
if
want,
it's
yeah,
state
I
by
almost want to
state.
look that up because it's to me, it's that borderline thing of just kind of being an asshole of like, well, legally I don't have to do, there's a lot of people out there who be like, well, this is America and I don't legally have to do that, so I'm not going to. And most of the times I'm not that asshole. I'm just like,
Yeah,
sure, check my shit. I don't really care.
right.
But
I got nothing to
I
hide.
kind of want to be that asshole sometimes. There's some
The
days where I
fun,
just want to be that asshole.
there was a couple weeks ago. Actually, there was a friend of mine and I that were in a Walmart, and we went through a line that had a cashier that rang us up, and they forgot to ring something up. There was something. There were two big things of Gatorade, and they only scanned one of them. And so the guy was like very thoroughly checking the receipt and like looking in the cart and looking at the receipt and looking at the cart. And he's like,
Right.
yeah, I don't see the second Gatorade on here. And we're like, well, that guy rung it up. So check with that guy. Cause we had no hand in this.
Right.
And it's just like, and of course a bunch of people pile up cause they're waiting for
Right.
their receipts to get checked. So then he eventually was like, just go. Like, so the system, no one is paying close enough attention for this system that they put in place to even
Right.
work.
Well, and to be honest too, like 90% of the fucking time when I go to a place like that, they look at the receipt and they just check it off. They don't even look at what's in the bags.
Yeah, they just
They're like, oh,
draw
you
their
paid?
line down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Basically what I think they do is they look at the date on the receipt, make sure
Okay,
it's
probably.
today's date,
Yeah.
look at probably roughly just kind of see how many items, compare that to what it looks like. Does that average out to looking like 15 items? Okay, cool. And shows that it's got paid on there. Like, not that you can get a receipt without paying, but
Right, but I'm sure that if there's like a big ticket item that they're wheeling out, they're gonna
they
specifically
100%
look
check
for
that,
that
yeah.
item. Like, let's say there's a TV or something, they're gonna look and make sure
Mhm.
there's a TV on the receipt. But yeah, other than that, they're just going like, yeah, it looks like about 20 items on the receipt. We'll call it good.
yeah, they don't.
The date's right.
It irritates me too at Costco.
You know, it'd be
It's
funny
like,
if it was
Nobody
if
can
it,
self-checkout. Or no, I think they do have self-checkouts at Costco now, but it's like,
Oh, do they?
it's the
I
same,
don't
it's the
know.
same bullshit. It's like, I have to have a card to get in here for one.
Yeah.
Then I do all this stuff, and then you ring me up. It's a fucking maze of a place. You can only you enter one door, you exit a different door, but you still have to go past those people that then, bottleneck you into this little area to leave, and they have to look at your fucking receipt again. It's just like,
It'd be funny. I know you can't do this because they always like do a little mark or a little scribble on the receipt to give it a check mark, like you're good to go. It'd be funny if they really did just pay attention to the date and like roughly the amount of items. If you got
Right.
your receipt handed back to you, then you just handed your receipt to the person behind you. I just gave a thumbs up on accident.
yeah, nice.
So it'd be funny if you could just hand your receipt to the person behind you, then they look at, oh, the date's right, oh, the items are about right, and you just keep passing the receipt back.
Right.
It's kind of like you could
Like
do that
paying
on
it
the whole.
forward.
Yes, I was just gonna say that. Thank you. I was just gonna say that.
Yeah. Like
And-
the movie starring Haley Joel Osment, Pay It Forward.
And the fact that you and I thought of the exact same thing at the exact same time is just proof positive, folks, that our friendship is stronger than ever.
It's a real humdinger.
But it's also the cat's pajamas and the bee's knees.
Oh. And never mind. I thought there was I thought there was going to be a smooth transition when you said cat, and I'm like, no, that doesn't work at all with
no.
what we say at the end of an episode.
That situation was real. See you next Tuesday.
Bye.
Pie. Also, happy St. Patrick's Day, which will be past when this episode comes out.
Yeah.
Enjoy your green. I hope you enjoyed your green beer and swam in the Green River. And
You don't get to. You can't swim in the river.
but how do people wear their white T-shirts and then make them green on St. Patrick's Day? I thought they swam in the Green River to green up their shirts. Do they not?
Do people
I don't really
do
think that. For the record, I don't think that people really do that. I think they just wear green shirts.
We better get out of here before.
Yeah, I already said see you next Tuesday, so end the episode, please.
Well, you kept talking.
End the episode now, please. See you next Tuesday. Happy St. Patty's Day. Green beer. Happy Ides of March. Beware the Ides of March. It's over. The Ides of March are past.
You're mentioning more and more things that are gone.
Happy Earth Day.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy
Valentine's
pajamas. Day. Happy Pie Day. Enjoy your pie. I hope you enjoyed some pie on Pie Day. Did you enjoy some pie on Pie Day, Matt?
No, I didn't. I forgot all about it.
Well, that pie was a real humdinger. Hotsy-totsy shenanigans.
I'd be so happy to end this episode if you stop talking.
Please do.
Long enough. I like to have a little gap to make sure I don't cut words off, but you keep talking. See you next Tuesday. Bye.
Wink.
If you have a question, complaint, or threat for Sean or Matt, you can reach us on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, X, or Instagram at hsfamouspod, or you can email the show at highschoolfamous@gmail.com. No animals were pleasured during the making of this podcast, despite our best efforts. All hail our Lord and Savior.
Yeah, if you thought that was bad. 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 Yeah, if you thought that was bad.